Intergalactic Interviews, episode 91. Oh shit. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is MD. To my immediate right is the man known as Saavedra, Michael. And on our boards today is C-Mart. And you know what? Our guest, he's fantastic. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know about a really, really great opportunity happening in the Lower Mainland and branching into Western Canada as well right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go and experience the greatest isolation tank experience right now available, you want to go and check out Float House. Go to floathouse.ca and you can see all of their contact info and all of their locations available at the moment. It's really incredible. Honestly, the best part about using Float House is it's so serene, it's very relaxing, it's very tranquil. It's actually one of the best parts of my week. I look forward to being able to go and just totally experience nothing for a while, just meditate, relax. It's cool. It's like a spa for your mind. If you haven't done it yet, you want to try it out. And the best way to do so is use our podcast promo code IIPodcast to get yourself 20% off your next float. Please go to floathouse.ca. That's floathouse.ca. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we love those guys. We float. You should float. Let's all float. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here with an old friend of ours, and we've been friends for pretty much 11 years at this point. Myself and Saavedra and our guest here have known each other for a long time. C-Mart has also known him for a long time. He is the bass player right now for a group called ReAktion. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Garrett Wolf.
Hello, players.
How you doing? Making his illustrious return to the show and to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very, very proud to have him here. Wolf.
I'm super stoked to be back.
You sound super stoked.
No, totally. Yeah, back in Canada, back with my homies. You know, it's been a long time.
You're a pure gem, and I wanted to know how that gem was formed. How did we get there?
Oh God!
You know,
a lot of pressure and a lot of heat. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You are. What can I say? Like, as a bass player, you've been, you know, I called you a journeyman in a previous episode, and someone told me off the show, like way after the fact, they're like, that's kind of insulting, and I was like, why is that insulting? Because I guess in professional sports, if you're a journeyman, that's like I always equate it to like a veteran, like you're a guy who's capable of playing. And you can fit them into a team and they're awesome, that kind of thing. Like you're a great component, a part of the dynamic, right? That's what I've always thought of. But apparently, no, it's like this really pejorative, negative thing to say about someone. Apparently, it implies you're not special, which is certainly not the truth.
That's not true. Journeymen in all kinds of trades have many hours on what they do.
I think so too, and not only that, but I think that you are. A really talented guy. I've always supported you in that. I've always tried to tell you to, get involved and get fucking rocking, and you always have been. So let's talk about this. How long have you been playing with the ReAktion now? Because that was like basically a phone call out of nowhere. Because what were you doing prior to this?
Well, prior to playing with these guys, I was basically not doing anything musically. Like, I guess maybe a year before or a year and a half before that, I was playing with a band called the Vancity Direwolves. Of course, we're all familiar with the homies in that band.
VCD Dub.
Yeah.
Vancity Direwolves.
Those guys.
Yeah, love those guys.
Yeah, which was amazing. And the band kind of just eventually we all went our separate ways and stuff like that.
You guys had a release. The cycle of the band worked its way through, basically, right?
Yeah, it's true. And Carl moved away. He was our boy.
Carl the Red is
miss that guy.
There's another guy I feel like, hey, he is such a large piece that you can put him into a group, and that you can build around a person like that, and like you're very much that. Like you're a catalyst for better playing, and I don't know. I like your performance, so it makes sense to me. But yeah, Carl the Red leaving was probably
a big part of it. And
like, how do you replace a guy like Carl the Red?
Exactly.
Pretty much impossible.
He was the guy who was kind of a real driving force and kind of like the glue in the band, which was really inspiring to see, because having a guy like that to play behind and follow or to help to make some music that's kind of good for both of us was really special, kind of thing. But now with the ReAktion, being able to lend, what
Experience.
what experience and talents I do have or hold, to be able to lend these to the ReAktion and help bring this vision further has been an amazing dream for me. So
let's talk about that then. How did this happen? Because you just said that you weren't doing anything musical. Did you just get like a call in the middle of the night? Like,
it was one of those sort of like maybe like a.
By the way, this is like in the industry. This is everyone talks about moments like we're about to describe right now.
Yeah,
and it almost never, like, this is like pretty much being struck by lightning twice and a lottery win all the same day. Like, it's just, you're like, really? Like the call must have been pretty odd to get, right? Like, what happened?
It was kind of strange because, well, let me just lead off by saying when Simon and the main members of the previous members of the ReAktion were living here in Canada, and I was kind of jamming with them and doing a little bit of work with them in the studio when they were recording with Garth Richardson. And two of the guys worked at the warehouse that I work at. So we were constantly around each other and became really, really good friends. But they got sent back to Chile. So kind of flash forward 2 years, and this is when I'm sort of getting this phone call that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And obviously knowing a little bit of the material and knowing the guys really well, as soon as their bass player, who left the band for personal reasons, he had a child and wanted to be with his family and do that, which makes very much sense. So that kind of opened the door for me, and these guys called me up and told me that I was basically their first choice because they had already known who I was. We had played some music together. We got along really well. And I know what you mean. It's like complete different hemispheres in the whole bit, but it really worked out really well.
You fit right in.
Exactly.
That's one thing I noticed right away. I was like, all right, here's this Canadian dude gonna fit in with a bunch of Chileans. Is this gonna work out? Like, is it gonna, like, I thought it was gonna look weird in photos, but no, you look like bang on. Like,
everybody tags us as being a Chilean band, and I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm the Canadian guy.
Just the nationality, I think, first, but I don't necessarily tag it as like that. You guys are just like a band. Like, I don't think about it like that.
Yeah, and we try not to restrict ourselves with borders. That's one of the big things, like, with our messages.
I think the only band I'd really think is like attached so much to a nation would be like Bruce Springsteen is like American or like the Tragically Hip or Canadian. You couldn't not be those things, like you are, like, or Stompin' Tom, pretty fucking Canadian. Like there's no way to not be Canadian, right? That's what I mean. But yeah, you guys are fucking awesome though. Like, okay, so you get the call. Walk us through the timeline of what's happened then. So,
so
you get the call, and then were they like, let's go to studio, we're going on tour? What was the first thing you guys did?
Well, basically, I got the call, and the guys told me that in October 24th, 25th, they were booked for the Knotfest, which is the big Slipknot festival.
Slipknot festival,
yeah. And that's it. That took place in San Bernardino with bands like, Judas Priest, Bring Me the Horizon, Korn, Slipknot, of course. Like, it was basically a lineup of bands that I grew up like worshiping and wishing, like just dreaming of the day that I would be
in that spot,
in that exact spot. So that was the first show that I was going down to play with these guys. So I basically had a flight booked for October 18th. And
so wait, when did you get the call?
I got the call maybe, I don't know exactly when I got the call.
Like, how many weeks out?
I would say maybe 5 months out, 6 months out. So when I got this call, it was like, okay, dude, it's becoming serious. I don't think Phil's going to go on the road with us anymore, and we want you to go with us. Is this something that you can do? Mm-hmm. And basically the logistics behind it were me quitting my job, packing up my apartment and putting it into storage, letting my girlfriend know at the time that I was, leaving the country and I didn't know when I would be back. Basically this going to war type situation.
Yeah.
But everybody who I told about it was so super supportive and very, supportive is the only word I can think of. They were just very much like, you have to do this. There's no reason to not do this. You have no ties. Like, just go and do like follow the dream. Like everybody who I've told about is like living vicariously through me,
Yeah,
just
man,
for kind of trying to do this for real.
It's so crazy because, like, you know, these crowds you're playing, they're not like, you know, 30-person rooms or something like that. You're playing large. I mean,
at times there's
everyone
ups and
does.
downs.
Yeah, everyone does shows like that. But like, you could see like all of the documented footage and stuff like that. You guys are on the road. You guys are playing large rooms, and I mean, well, what's it like for you as an artist going from really grinding it out and just, you know, putting in your work and working at your craft, and then seeing the payoff? Like, first time you go out like that, you said your first show with them was at Slipknot Fest. That is fucking hilarious. Okay, so
Yeah.
what was it like when like you guys have guitar techs and shit like that?
No, it wasn't quite that intensive.
I was gonna say, what is it like? Like, who did you have to carry your gear with you all around, or what?
Well, we had to load.
Was that like a weird experience? Like, you're like,
No, that's very normal. Like, I was weirded out by the fact that we weren't allowed to do certain things. You know what I mean?
Like what?
When just for instance, you know, like you're maybe 150 feet or whatever, 200 feet from like the beer stand in the VIP area where you can just go grab a beer if you want, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, hey guys, does anybody want a beer? I'm gonna walk over there and get a beer. Dudes are just like, no, dude, you don't got to do that. We'll get somebody to do that for you. And it's like, for real? It's like right over there. I'll grab a beer. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. We'll send this guy, that guy. And I'm just like,
That's strange. First time you get like handlers, basically.
Yeah, sort of like handlers or being treated as talent. Like, I'd never been treated that way where people are like, oh, okay, you're an asset that's got to be protected and taken care of so that you can do this thing for us. And I've never experienced that really before, so it was interesting.
How do you feel you responded to that? Was it like apprehensive at first? Were you like, I don't know, because you were just saying like, I'll go get it. Like,
I go for the flow, very like go with the flow, super easy, and I'm not one to kind of cause ripples. I just wanted to, you know, just go with it. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's this festival, and I guess this is how you get taken care of on festivals. Obviously on tour or on the road, like the real shit, that's a different story.
Yeah, completely, obviously. But that must have been like I'm saying, like from grinding out on an indie scene to all of a sudden like you're you know, playing on the same stage as like Judas Priest and shit like that. Like, that's pretty crazy. Did you see Rob Halford walking around?
No, we didn't see Rob walking around.
Wasn't that like the juice bar or something like that?
No, there wasn't really a juice bar, but there was a really nice buffet with mac and cheese. Which was,
yeah,
it was great.
Okay, can I ask you this? Was there anyone in either like management or like within the band itself that kind of like was like, hey, just I'll show you the ropes kind of thing, like don't do this kind of thing?
Oh,
like anyone that's like, don't grab 2 plates of buffet because that looks thirsty as fuck. Like, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but
it's too much. It's
well,
free. Act like you've been here before. Like that. Was there anyone who did that kind of thing to you?
The act like you've been there before thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, was like, I didn't know that this was an unwritten rule of like pro bands, but you never shit on the bus. Straight up, never.
Yeah, you never
on
do.
Any sort of trailer situation or RV or bus, you never shit in that bathroom ever. That's like the number one rule of all.
How did you find out? Did you?
I wrecked up a bathroom. Like, that's how
my God. This is how you entered tour?
Yeah. Our tour trailer at Knotfest, it was just like, yeah, no problem. Oh, sweet, we got a trailer. Our name's on the front. The ReAktion, beers in the fridge, Rockstar, all the shit. Cool, bathroom that works. You don't want to go use one of those shitty porta potties or something like that. Of course, if you have a fucking bathroom in your trailer, you're gonna rock it out.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I do. Yeah, bungled that shit right up. I didn't.
Jesus.
Bungled is
that
probably
a band
better.
meeting? Was that like, guys, we need to talk?
No.
Seriously.
I went to like the fucking, what was it, production manager of the time, or the area that we were in, and I was like, hey, our toilet and our trailer's all fucked up. And she was just like, did one of you guys shit in there? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe one of the guys shit in there.
Maybe one of the guys.
One of these type of scenes.
Oh, you handled that so well. I don't know. Someone
I'm not
did.
sure,
Yeah.
but maybe. It is a music festival. We had a lot of people in there.
You're like, oh, it must have been a fan. They snuck
Yeah,
on.
one of those groupies we had.
What a
in
weird,
there.
sick fuck.
Yeah, who would do that? We all know that that's a rule.
Oh, you handled that well. That was good.
Yeah, totally.
That's funny. Okay, so you guys leave Knotfest. Good show. Yeah?
Yeah,
Great show.
It was great.
I guess your frame of reference was one show at that point, so you're like, yeah, it was a great show.
No, it was great. I feel like the performance was good and stuff like that. Like everything on our end, I feel like was good for the week of rehearsal that we had leading up.
That was my next question. I was going to ask how much prep you had actually with the band, or was it like just show up and get ready to fucking do this?
Well, like I say, I landed in LA on October 18th, and then the guys landed that evening, October 18th as well. And basically, we maybe had like a day that we kind of got our bearings a little bit. And then we were in rehearsal studio, like solid that whole week. I think in 3 days, like the couple of 3 days, we did something like 15 or 18 hours or something like that. Like we
was prepping like crazy, right?
Oh, dude, like it was nonstop. And we'd go in super late at night and then just all nighter jamming basically, which was...
Did you find the material was easy to pick up right away? Like you were familiar as a listener, but
yeah,
in playing, were you like, okay, I think I can rock this pretty quick?
Well, yeah, that was one of the things too. Is when I got the call, the guys obviously were just like, okay, we're going to do everything to help you get prepared for this. So Phil, the previous bass player, had sent me playthrough videos of everything, which was immense.
He sent you
playthroughs,
his own playthroughs.
Exactly, like he recorded videos of himself playing through the tracks.
That might be the greatest good guy move ever, because many bands just like
hope you'd be a good guy.
Yeah, like that's such a good move.
And even with the even with the
on bad terms.
Well, no, I'm just saying. Sometimes when people leave, not saying this is the guy, but sometimes when people leave bands, obviously it's not always amicable. And so, like, it's just like,
just been like,
peace.
Yeah,
and you're
screw
like,
you guys.
Fuck, make up the parts now, okay? Fuck. Like, I have to figure it out.
Well, that's the thing, too, is, like, sure, there was playthrough videos of everything he was doing, but he leaves big shoes to fill. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm not the same bass player, but, like, I feel like I kind of grew into the material a little bit more after playing with the guys a bit.
Do you finger pick or do you pick?
I use a pick.
A pick, okay.
With most of that sort of like mathy stuff and the weird like triplets and cutout triplets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not technically skilled enough with my fingers to
dexterity
or just I haven't done enough practice. Like I kind of practice with both a little bit.
Yeah.
But the pick I find to have like the harder attack, and I can hit those, like I say, like the mathy parts tighter and cleaner than I could if I was I might be able to get there with my fingers, but the pick is the way right now.
It's very, obviously, as a bass player, like you know this a lot better, but like, yeah, it's very, very interesting how that instrument is like, there's so many nuances to the playing techniques within it. It's like, I don't know. It's like when people say bass, they go, "Oh, you're a bass player," and like they don't really think about like actually, yeah, well, I am. But look at that. Like, was Phil a finger pick?
No, he was also a pick player.
Okay,
as far as I know, yeah.
How much of the material is the band allowing you to take liberty with? Is it like, okay, play this exact, or is
No, it's absolutely not like that at all. Like,
so it's pretty open to
it's wide open.
Well, that's good.
Because even when the guys went into studio with Garth and
by the way,
and
just iconic Garth Richardson, just want to say that.
Of course. Big shout out to Garth, man.
He told me last year he's going to come do the show, and then he went and built a new studio, and I haven't seen him since.
Well, this is the call out. You got to come out and rep the farm.
Yeah. Garth, we'll get you out here.
But even with Garth, when the guys went first into studio to work with him, he was just like, okay, I don't give a shit what you guys play live. When we do this in studio, it's going to be this way. Like, it has to be this way, or sort of the highway or whatever. And then the live stuff is just, obviously the record is what it is. And no band reproduces the record 100% accurate night after night. Yeah. That's just the way of the music industry. especially when you spend so much time and effort with the technology to balance everything and make everything perfect on record.
Yeah.
To reproduce that live is...
Well, it's funny you bring that up because a while back we had Rachel Ashmore on the show, and she's in a band. She's with By Starlight, which there was 604 Records, and she also plays with Men Without Hats.
Okay.
So she's been like hired gun to play with them, and she's done several tours of them now. But something that came up during the show was I asked her, I was like, how much of the material are you able to be liberal with? And she's like, none. Like note for note. And the reason she brought this up is she's like, you have to imagine by this point, by this year in 2016, anyone who's going to these shows has been listening to this particular set of songs for like 30 fucking years now, right? At least. So you're listening to them. Like, can you imagine you pay through the nose to go see a band like that, and someone is like, I'm going to do the solo.
I'm going to take some liberties here.
Yeah, just do it my way. And that kind of thing. They're like, it was not the way I remember.
I remember the solo exactly how it was in my head.
They got,
I want to hear that.
They probably got like, the people listening probably got like fingered at fucking junior high to it or something like that. Or like some really expressive memories that they totally know.
That's like with when we saw like Hall & Oates last summer at the P&E. I think they took their liberties before the songs started and after the songs, where it was just like long periods of soloing and noodling.
Yeah.
But then it'd be like, Rich Girl, like boom, fucking
That's
note
really
for note,
immaculate.
sounded exactly like the record, and then it'd be like all this tailing off and like him fucking around on the guitar and like playing crazy solos, and then it right back into the hits. Nothing was
totally,
like, we're gonna let's just have a little bit more of a synth solo on this one here. Like,
do you think if
Mm-hmm.
Jimi Hendrix was still around and like say he played a show like that he would be like pigeonholed to playing exactly what's on record?
It'd be strange because you're dealing with these like iconic, again, like they're so woven into the fabric of music history.
But also that's what that guy was known for, though, right?
True.
Like he was known for just being
improvisation
all out there.
Simon is a true unique character for music, and he will be known as that in the future,
cool.
For sure.
Yeah, to be a part of like, you're making history right now, which is really cool.
I honestly feel like working with these guys is something that's strong.
It's really, really interesting to see how you're integrating yourself within the band. Like I feel like I had a thought to say earlier to the Hall & Oates thing. I didn't bring it up, but I was going to say, when I saw Hall & Oates, they did like a 10-minute version of I Can't Go For That. And I had like this like 4-minute drum solo of the 10 minutes. So I was like, I don't remember that 4-minute drum solo on the record, but I enjoyed it. So yeah.
It was on you missed that single?
Oh yeah, the side B. No, I didn't.
Extended version.
Pick that one up, huh?
No, can't say I did there. Bye.
Right.
Let me ask this. So you were on the road for quite a while. How long were you on the road for?
Well, after Not Best, I think there was maybe a couple, like a week or so, maybe a week or two break that we kind of just gathered our stuff, got a couple of things in place that were really major. Like during that time, we went out and spent or visited the Schecter factory, Schecter guitars, obviously.
Sweet.
Yeah, and those guys are huge. They're amazing.
Yeah, I have a photo of you the day.
Yeah. The funny thing is that photo, I'm making the stinkiest face, so I look like so unimpressed, but I'm like really stoked to be getting this amazing guitar. And
at that point, I just realized I was like, this guy's life. Nothing impresses him anymore because he's just everything's so amazing. Yeah, I'm like, look at this free guitar, motherfucker. Yeah.
So those guys hooked us up with guitars for the road, and that was amazing to get to go and tour their shop and pick some stuff out of the racks, which was, I
mean, that's insane. Just
it's like a dream. It was like another dream. It's like, oh, you're playing with like Slipknot and Korn and these guys, and then it's like, oh, remember growing up and pining after these guitars? Well, now here you go. Here's one of these guitars. Yeah. Just take it on the road and play the shit out of it. Okay. So
that's cool. How was the facility like in terms of like size? Was it like a fairly large?
Totally. Like they have two separate ones that are across the lane from each other. One of them is their storage and distribution facility for like because they import guitars. They work with a company in Korea. that does a lot of their manufacturing for some of their more base models. And then across the alley is their like custom American shop where they have the full paint facility and all their guys making crazy stuff in there. Like, it was really cool.
Is TLC doing a reality show on those guys yet?
If they aren't, they should. Well, I don't know if there's a lot of stress there. It's not like Orange County Choppers or some shit. Like,
what would the name of it be?
Guitar Brokers.
Yeah.
Coming fall.
This fall.
Yeah, Guitar Brokers.
Some people like to rock. Some like to roll. I'm like,
that's literally all the drama there would be. Hey, this doesn't roll enough.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how
it'd be like the cake boss, you know? They'd come in and be like, "Oh, can you get just like a cake with the little Statue of Liberty on it?" And be like, "I don't know if we can do this." Or then they do it at the end, and that's the drama.
That's totally like isn't it funny how like if you go way back to like Orange County Choppers, like junior versus senior, all that shit.
Yeah, love
how
that
you'd be
stuff.
they'd be like, we have to get these handlebars in, and then they'd fuck them up, and they'd be like, if we don't get it by the end of this episode hour, it's gonna be fucking awful, blah blah. But like you never realize it's a business. And that,
just all editing.
It's like, I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. It's like a week. Like
they're going to finish it.
Hey, where are the handlebars? And they turns around, opens another box, pulls out the bars, and chucks them on.
Exactly. It's like
they're wearing the same clothes in the video.
Yeah, it's a custom like Spawn bike or something, and they're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Todd McFarlane will wait an extra day for his $45,000 fucking custom bike. I think it's okay. And he's like, no, man, you don't understand. My dad's a piece of shit. And you're just like, whoa, slow it down there. And
take it easy.
They're like, the producers are like, we should just rename this series Junior versus Senior.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Fuck. It's not hilarious. That shit was everywhere for a while. And now it's like, I don't know.
Completely dried up.
God damn, now it's all like, what is it, like gold shows? I see one.
Is it still?
Duck Dynasty, gold.
Is Duck Dynasty
gold
still a
truck
thing?
drivers or some
I don't
shit.
think that's still a thing.
Is Duck Dynasty still a thing? Didn't they lose their rights because of the gay stuff?
They put out a video
I have
game.
no idea.
There's a video game, Duck Dynasty.
Hunt.
Is it good, C-Mart? I'm going to ask C-Mart. C-Mart says yeah.
He shakes his head.
C-Mart says yes. Pay to play, and he's number one. Okay. Good to know. Good thing we mic'd you today.
It's freemium. You pay for the per inch of beard.
Yeah, freemium. Oh, you're like, I don't even know any of the guys' names to make fun of them.
No, I don't either.
You know,
I'd rather not.
G-Tone always gets told he looks like the one guy from Duck Dynasty when he wears his bandana.
I've been joked at Duck Dynasty before with the old beards.
Really?
Ski. Yeah.
By the way, like the length you got going on right now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I get to take this bitch into the barber shop and fucking get it fucking taken care of.
Horned.
Yeah,
it is
totally
horned.
horned.
Why does it horn? Can you show the camera that a little quick? Just it does horn in the middle there. What's up with it?
It's a real problem. It's
because natty horn.
Yeah, naughty as fuck. No, it's a real problem in my life. I just get it cut down past the horniness.
How do you take care of that stuff on the road? Do you just fucking Google barbers on the road?
Bed beard is a real issue when you don't get to shower every day.
Bed beard, especially that length.
Yeah.
Do you sleep on your side or on your back?
I'm a face sleeper. I sleep face down.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Face sleeper.
I give myself the old seatbelt. I love it. You go do one of these and then sleep face down on it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he's crossing his arm.
Yeah, like a seatbelt. Like you put
a seatbelt.
Yeah, like that.
So you sleep on your stomach, totally prone.
And then my head turns to one side.
Totally prone.
Totally.
Well, that seems safe.
Yeah.
On the road.
No, if somebody was to
strangers.
come up and try and kill me, A, I sleep super heavy because I'm used to sleeping with noise, and B, you could probably just twist my neck a quarter of an inch and I would be dead.
Because you're already all the way there.
I'm already cranked to hyperextension, so
that's fucked.
Yeah.
If you heard a noise in the night, you just snap your own neck.
So for all you murderers out there.
Murderers. Actually, Saavedra, you and Wolf used to live together for a long time, right?
We sure did.
So is that true? How many years? 8 glorious years.
8 glorious
49
years.
glorious days and nights on the couch, bud. That was my tenure on their couch.
Oh yeah. Should have been longer.
It shouldn't have been longer. Actually, I don't know if I ever told this story on the podcast, but these guys let me crash on their couch when I was in between places. And I ended up every single day trying to find a place. Like I'm heavy on Craigslist, going through all the listings, trying to find anything. And I finally found one spot. And
so that looks
well, Saavedra does look unconvinced. But check, he's like, No, he didn't, bud. He sat there on the couch the whole time, didn't do nothing, ate my food, acted like Jack Daniels was contributing, but it wasn't because no one drank it.
It's just like, hey guys, I don't go rent money, but I got some Jack.
Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, I remember finally I was like, boys, I found a spot. The guys, the owners want to meet me, so I'm gonna go meet them. And I came back, and you guys were like, oh, how'd that go? And I was like, pretty good. And you're like, what happened? I was like, well, they wanted to meet at a McDonald's parking lot, so I did. And when we met, they met me in the car, and it wasn't the woman I was emailing, it was like the husband. And the husband was like, I want to take the security deposit right now, and I only had cash, so I gave him like my whole, like at that point I was like a good amount of my bankroll at the time, so I gave him like all this money for the security deposit and the first of the month. And then he's like, yeah, I don't actually have the keys, so you'll have to just, call my wife or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting you. And he's like, all right, cool. So I came back and I told this story to the boys, and they're just like, you're a fucking idiot. Why would you ever think that was okay? I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, first of all, you're meeting in like a public area where they can just drive away, and then, like as soon as they get your money.
Yeah.
I was like, I was in the car. They're like, it's even worse. You're like, you kicked out and fucking bear maced or something in the car. And then you're like, did you give them money? I'm like, yeah. All of it? Yeah. What are you, fucking idiot? I'm like, no, it's going to be another 59 glorious days waiting for you to get money. That's fucked up. Yeah. That truly happened, though. And then they ended up giving me the keys the next day. You guys worried me.
That's crazy, because that's some real Canadian shit right there. The fact that you actually got the keys. My friend down in LA, her daughter or her son, fucking did us very similar shit. Like he got fucked over big time.
Oh no!
Taken for like 1,200.
1,200.
Some shit like that. Just crazy.
That's ruthless.
Oh, dude.
I didn't even know that was a viable like criminal act you could do. Just
like that's the people do that every day. Like when you go on Craigslist and they're like, yeah, we got an apartment. You just want to.
I just need damage up front.
You can mail me an envelope full of cash, and I'll send you the keys in the mail. Because I don't actually live in Vancouver. I live down in Texas here. If you just send me the money, I'll send you the keys the next day once I get the money.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Like, exactly. Like, what the fuck?
House is on 67th and Oak. You're like, that doesn't even exist.
67th and
South
Oak.
Granville.
Yeah. That's funny. This place I was talking about was on 62nd and Night. So it was like, even that, like, he's like, you ever been to 62nd? I'm like, I didn't even know it goes that high. He's like, oh, it goes.
That's
like,
so dark.
Just to tell you, like, everything about the story, just like, it was all these wrong decisions. Like, and then walking away, like, feeling like I'm pretty city smart.
Finally got a place. Yeah. Don't you like go for a celebration beer and shit?
Yeah, spend the rest of my money or something. They're like, this guy is a fucking idiot. Just an idiot.
Dude, guys, got a house. Also got the 60-pounder of Jack. So let's have a good night.
Let's have a good night. You're like, just so you know, that doesn't count as rent. It's a 60-pounder.
We're still expecting back rent.
Yeah, I'm gonna want like half of that.
Just pouring it into 2 liters to store in the.
When Ricky's always like, "Oh, that's a good bottle. I'll take half of that if you want it."
Chips, let's go.
Fucking right. You brought up America just now. What were some of the significant differences you found traveling about the country for an extended period of time? Because most people go down there and they get like the, Celsius, Fahrenheit, ha 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 ha. Yeah. And it's like, no, when you really live down there for a while, what was something you started to feel and like
some
recognize?
of the big stuff?
Don't say like ketchup chips and shit, because like everyone knows that.
No, ketchup
I couldn't
chips.
get a coffee crisp.
No, the real one that's missing is dressed all over. They don't have dressed all over down there anymore.
They don't have Zesty Mordant?
No, they got Zesty. Well, not Mordant. Just Zesty.
Just Zesty Mordant.
Zesty Paquante or something. But no, down there it's like the liquor stores. Well, at least in Cali, there's only like a 4-hour window when liquor stores are closed. So from 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. you can't buy booze, but any other time it's like go fucking crazy.
That's pretty wild and different. Do you find like a lot of people drink down there? Like, is it like in Canada?
I wouldn't say that it was quite the same as here. Like, sure, maybe we had the late night beer run here or there, but it wasn't like. I've been in lots of situations where you run dry in the house and then you're just like, oh shit, I wish you could get like bottle service, but
yeah, it's quarter after 11. Fuck.
You're not gonna pay $50 for a case of beer or something like that. You know what I mean? So to have that option was kind of crazy. But
I would imagine bottle service in LA after 2 a.m. just giving anyone your address. It'd be like just a big no-no.
Well, and it's like the weed delivery there is like the same sort of thing. I guess not maybe as shifty as the booze service was.
Is it like Mr. Nice Guy and Half Baked?
Actually, I never interacted with the guy. One of our buddies did, but the herb was on point. I know that much.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What were you smoking mostly sativas down there?
No, man. It's like everybody down there is into that sort of rap scene. So rappers are rapping about OG.
Yeah.
Everybody's smoking the loudest fucking OG they can get their hands on. Like, I want the most heaviest, loudest shit. Like, you want to walk in a spot and people to fucking know that you're packing the loud. Like, that's the deal.
People that don't know, loud is smell.
Yeah.
So
you want it to be blasting them across the room.
Loud bag of weed.
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's like, what? I can't hear you. Close the bag.
Smoke that Hindu Kush. And you're just like, oh shit. It's OG. Yeah.
I'll crunk on my face a bit.
Yeah, you're just like, ah. I know. Well, it's funny, like, trend-wise, how shit is like it moves so quick. You're right. LA with hip-hop has always been like a very, very strong point for trend setting.
Oh, absolutely.
What was it you're smoking down there?
Oh, we were smoking a lot of like different OG strains, like SFV, which is San Fernando Valley OG, some abusive OG.
Abusive.
Yeah, there's some manic OG in there.
What an aggressive name. Abusive.
No,
is that loud?
It was pretty good.
Is abusive loud?
It was pretty good. The loudness that we were rocking with a lot was some of that Gorilla Glue number 4. That stuff was
I use that to fix my blender.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
Gorilla Glue blend number 4.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, I think it was like, I don't know if that's like the number of the cut or what it is, but it was some great herbs for sure.
Well, you were also and still are, if I imagine, part of the glass blowing scene, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So were you able to expand down there and connect with more people, or was it like putting that on pause for a bit?
I kind of put it on pause a little bit. I wasn't interacting with too many different glass blowers at the time, but like while I was there, actually, I was staying in North Hollywood, and very close to there is a place called Reseda, and in Reseda they have a shop called Captain Ed's, which is like a kind of iconic smoke shop that's been around for a very long time.
Like a head shop, right? Like,
yeah, a head shop, absolutely. And they also have like a glass gallery. So they were putting on a gallery show called Strange Brew, and they had a bunch of Canadian glassblowers come down from Canada to LA to do the show. And obviously I know all the Canadian glassblowers, so guys like, Corey Cotton, Nish, John Kostick, and Stratus, they came down to do a show there. And
how many of those guys are local to Vancouver?
They're not local to Vancouver, like they don't live exactly in Vancouver, but very, very close, like Gibson's.
That's
and
in the interior, right?
They're all really close by for sure. Nish is out in Ontario, and John Kay is in Alberta, I believe, unless he's moved out west since then.
Wow, so they all came to Reseda.
Yeah, for this glass show. And like when I knew that they were going to be around, I went out to like meet up with them, and we kind of had some like drinks and partied and stuff, which was really cool to catch up with those guys after being out of, Canada for 4 or 5 months or whatever.
Was it like a bit of a reverse into the culture shock?
No, it made me feel a lot more comfortable. It's just like you guys talk regularly, and also you're like more polite. It's like I lost my politeness a little bit while I was there. It's just like,
well, what's a habit you picked up? You just said you lost a bit of your politeness, but what was something you picked up? Like, were you saying words you would never say? Like, were you saying like hella?
No, like people say hella. Like
people do say hella.
I say hella every now and again. It doesn't really come up for me too much, but no, I don't know. I don't think I picked up like too many words. I find myself referencing being back in LA a lot though. I'm like, oh yeah, like back in LA we do this and that, and then it's just like I always sound like such a fucking douche when I do that. I'm like, oh yo, I'm Venice Beach, this and that, and I like try and just like stop myself from doing that.
You gotta repackage it in different ways. You have to just say things like, instead of being like back in LA, you just be like, I experienced one time on a beach.
That sounds even stupider.
It's not gonna work for him.
Well, after you hear back from LA 15 times, someone will appreciate your repackaging.
Yeah.
Like, one time.
Just got reworded every time like a fucking essay.
One time on an undisclosed beach.
It wasn't Venice.
Yeah.
But it was similar.
Yeah.
It was Redondo.
Yeah, just some fucking...
Yeah, it was Hermosa.
Great. Yeah, dude. So, okay, so you're on the road for a while, and then you guys are going through shows. How are shows on the road? Like they much different from the festival vibe, obviously.
Oh yeah, the festival vibe was
off the hook. But then
yeah.
So now you're like, okay, let's load up our gear. How are you guys traveling?
So it was me and my two bandmates, Felipe and Simon, and we were in a 15-seater Ford Transat. One of these kind of things, if you're familiar. One of those big...
Like a large cargo passenger van.
Yeah, one of those cargo ones.
But like a passenger van.
What we did was we took out, like, all the seats, except for 3.
Okay.
And so we had all the seats.
Like 2 rows missing, basically.
3 rows? 3 rows missing. And
the
one seat beside the door was still there, and then the driver and passenger seat were still in.
That's a lot of room.
So between the seats, between, like, the back seat and the 2 front seats, we put in, like a futon mattress thing that was like our bed, and then all of the gear packed in
to the hilt.
Yeah, like right to the hilt, like behind that kind of thing. We had to pack it very carefully every night so that like when we'd be driving and have to put on the brakes, it like, shit didn't just like pile us in if you were sleeping in the bed area. But it made for like an all right sort of scenario. Other than the fact that, you're like 3-man spooning most often, which is a little bit weird, but
that's a reality on the road.
Yeah. And like, me and Simon know each other really well. We've known each other, like I say, we've known each other for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. But Felipe, I met him on October 18th. We like go through that. That's like, all right, going on the road, bro. Time to 3-man spoon together.
Time to man bond.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty funny.
So that stuff was pretty crazy, but we basically drove from Los Angeles all the way across the country to Florida. So Los Angeles, Cali to, I think it was South Bend, Florida. Is that correct? I don't know.
Is that outside Sunshine?
I have no idea. It's all a blur. But we drove like 36 hours, something over a day and a half.
It's a long time.
Yeah, hell a long time. Yeah. There it was.
Hella long time. Hella.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have today.
And with that, we're done. But
please go ahead.
But so we drove all the way over there, and then we started. That's when we started being on tour with Hollywood Undead, who's very popular currently and have been for a while, I guess.
Those guys draw like crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were playing shows with them that were basically, sold out, if not near sold out every night for something like maybe 10 dates.
What was the reaction for the ReAktion on those shitty? I wasn't trying to say that. I just that's the way I started to react. Yeah, that's the way I said the joke. What was the reaction you guys were receiving opening for a band? Because sometimes, see, what I'm saying is like at a festival, there's so many different types of fans that are there for so many different groups, right?
Yep.
Usually at a festival, someone will go because either their friends are going or because there's a number of check marks on like, oh, I want to see this band, and this band. And then they expose themselves to these other new bands. And that's kind of usually festival life. Yeah. But when you're on the road and you're like,
directly supporting a band.
Yeah, and you're the main support for a group. Sometimes the fans are like only there for that band. So like, what was the reaction like for you guys? Was it positive?
I think it was absolutely very positive.
Overwhelmingly positive. I saw like a lot of like crazy photos.
People, like the photos you saw, full rooms and everybody was. I wish there was a lot more video. We were doing periscopes every night, but every night there seemed to be some sort of issue with the periscope. If you watched any of them, it was like
I saw one from a distance.
Was it the one where we looked like we were on a sinking ship because the bass was making it like slowly tumble down?
were you in Louisiana at any point?
Or Illinois?
Illinois, maybe, yeah. And
we were in Louisiana.
I watched one
too.
It was like, we're on in 10 minutes, and I was like, oh sweet. So I just tuned into view, and there's a couple people watching, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then I was like waiting for the camera to move, and it was like just slightly out of focus, but I was like, oh, well, this is still pretty cool. And I was like watching, trying to get involved with it. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, we had stuff like that basically every night with it, but like I say, the shows on the Hollywood Undead tour were overwhelming. Like I was so blown away. The Knopfest was a great sort of start, but then on Hollywood Undead tour, it was like the shows were crazy. We had like a super good time in Nashville, and we had a really good time in St. Louis, Missouri.
Nashville's super cool.
Yeah,
Nashville.
And we played back-to-back sold-out shows in Omaha, Nebraska that were like nuts, like in a really kind of iconic, crazy place.
Damn, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and like I can only imagine.
What venue did you play in Nebraska?
Oh shit.
In Omaha.
I could look it up.
I'll look it up after. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
But the shows were super, humbling. Like they made me realize that this shit is real, and that people really can attach to a good idea and good music that goes with it, and lots of people came out of the woodwork for photos and autographs and wanted to say hi to us and talk to us and stuff, which is really
cool, right? Because again, totally, like we just covered, they're like, you're like sport athlete. I don't know, like I saw, just to give you an idea, like I saw Black Dahlia Murder support Cannibal Corpse back in like 2002, 2003 or something like that, and they fucking blew me away. Like Cannibal Corpse's corpse, obviously, they're crazy, but I almost like remember Black Dahlia Murder more. And I went outside after the show, and they were just standing there, and I was like, what the fuck? So we just started chatting a little bit. Yeah. Nice guys. And now you see them doing, they're fucking headlining.
They're like one of the biggest bands.
They're top tier right now. So you see like the way things come along, and I think good things are coming for you guys in the future. You guys played, this says here, Omaha, Nebraska, November 19th, 2015. You played Sokol Auditorium.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's the
Sokol
one, yeah.
Auditorium.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row.
Wow, back to back. That's fucking crazy.
And from what I understand, that was the first time that venue has been booked back to back by the same band.
Really?
In the city, and that was obviously for Hollywood Undead, not for us, but we were the supporting band, which was really cool.
We were involved.
Yeah, we were there.
So
that was cool.
Brother, I appreciate you giving us some time today. I know.
Yeah. I told you we needed a 4-parter at least.
We do,
there's
definitely.
A lot to cover.
There's so much stuff. Would you, we were just talking about this in the last episode, thinking about keeping the weekly vibe, but maybe just doing a couple whenever episodes. Yeah. Would you be up for maybe just coming back sometime?
Man, I'm open for whatever.
Let's not make it 2 goddamn years. Because I think the last time I was like May in 2014. So,
yeah, something crazy.
Sure. Oh, what's the name of the new single right now?
The current single that's running on radio, and our music video is up for Thousands of Memories.
Thousands of Memories, and you're actually in this video, right?
Yeah, this video I'm in, which is great. It was a lot of work in the soundstage doing this one.
That's cool. Who shot this? Who shot this one for you guys?
So we shot the video with this amazing video director and his team. His name is Rage, and he's done a lot of music videos with like rap artists and hip hop artists down in LA and the sort of area, and his stuff is amazing.
I know some of his pieces of work.
You probably do.
That's pretty awesome that you got to work with him. Was he overall a good guy to work with?
Yeah, he was amazing, and his team was like really pro, and like all the gear was amazing. And
well, the video looks amazing. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And it's available right now on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find it on our label's YouTube channel, or you can find it on Loudwire.
Loudwire as well?
Yeah, that's where we did our exclusive release from.
Okay.
Because those guys have treated us really well over the last little while.
Sweet.
It's been great.
Yeah, it's good to be part of stuff. Wolf, you're an awesome guy. You're our brother. We're so happy for you, man. We really are.
Thank you so much.
It's so good to see you fucking doing awesome, and you're one of the nicest guys probably ever I think I've ever met.
Well, I'm super happy for you guys too. The show's been great, and it looks like you guys have had lots of amazing guests on and stuff. And
I've been floundering for weeks, and and this guy's been picking up the slack, and so is this guy. So hopefully what you see is just an illusion. And I'm like, yeah, it's all working out.
Yeah, totally. No, things are going great.
These guys are the A team. And what can I say? You're awesome. How can people follow you online if they want to follow you?
Well, if you want to follow the band, you can follow the ReAktion, spelled with a K, no spaces. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. I think on Facebook there's a space between the and ReAktion.
Just Google it. That'll like TheReaktion.
Yeah, exactly. And if you wanted to follow me personally, you can always find me at Wolf Show.
Find me at Wolf Show. Wow.
Yeah. Wolf Show, exactly. And that's on Twitter and Instagram.
Wolf Show.
Yeah.
Wolf, you're the fucking king. Saavedra, how can people follow you if they want to follow you online?
Oh, I suppose they can follow me at the Saavedra on Twitter and Michael A. Saavedra on Instagram.
For what mostly?
Mostly pictures of cats.
Mostly cats. A lot of cat lovers out there. I'm sure your numbers
should have
will
lots
increase.
of followers.
Yeah. C-Mart. Just gonna quickly pan over you real quick here. Is there anything we should do if we want to follow you?
There we go. That's another one in the
There
case.
you go. I wouldn't, he says. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow the podcast, you can do so by going to intergalacticinterviews.com. We're now available on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud, and we'll soon be on Spotify. We are really, really happy that you guys tune into us every week and you support us so much with the videos. And actually, all the videos now are on YouTube. Hopefully, we'll have sorted out our frame rate issue that going the last couple weeks. But that being said, thank you very much for listening. Wolf, any final words to these people? You want to say goodbye? Say goodbye.
Chowder, bitches.
This guy right here. We love you guys so much. We'll see you all next week. We'll do this.